right.
And mind you, you see, because the kidneys are in the excretory system and it's like the major part, it sends like urine to the bladder then out to your private area. So because my kidneys stop work, I stop producing urine.
Come on over to the Total Package Show. Come on over to the Total It's real, so much fun. Have a good time, yes you will. Got style, got class. Get in the zone with a Total Package Show. Come on over to the Total Package Show. Come on over to the Total Package Show.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Total Package Show. I am Rajon Brown and I'm so happy to be back. People know say every time I come up, I always say I'm happy to be back because yes, I am so happy to be back. This is my happy place and this is also your happy place. If this is your first time joining me, I want to say welcome. So wait, if you never know something like a big top shutter guest, when you never ever come, but I'm glad you're here. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. And make sure you take a friend next week. People may feel like I'm looking good today. Now, from where they are, me I look good. Talk to you on the show. Me I look good from where they are. And my stylist is here. Ariel Johnson, big up yourself. People put me in the clothes them and something. I have to take them back off and give it to him. But at least he made me look good for the show. So thank you, Ariel Johnson. We thank Yummy Bakery for partnering with us this season to bring you a quality family entertainment show. Are you ready for the show? Yes, you are, and I am ready. And without no further ado, drum rolls please. My guest for today is the popular man with the big story, with the big heart, ORAINE Simpson. I get that right?
Yeah, you
ORAINE,
did.
how are you?
I'm good.
So good to have you.
Nice to be in here.
Good at first, sometimes you see people on social media and you see the people that go around and go around and go around and when they come in person, it's just like a breath of fresh air. It's a pleasure to have you here with me.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here as well.
So-
And again, I always watch your show.
Oh, you always? That's good. That's good. So you know how we roll over here. Happy place. So with us today is ORAINE Simpson with another overcoming story. Life would have given him lime or lemon, and he did turn it into some sweet, sweet lemonade. So ORAINE, talk to me. Tell me what was growing up like for you.
Growing up was not very hard. I'm actually from Clarendon, so I'm a native of Clarendon.
Big up Clarendon people.
And it's really deep rural, like past Moko, way up in the hills.
Hey, when you hear Moko, then talk about bush,
But
You know?
not even Moko, past Moko to a small place named Bank, which is,
cool.
well, people would know Beckford Crawl, really.
Mm-hmm.
So as a child, I was a very active youth,
Mm-hmm.
played all sports, very smart, and I wasn't ill or anything. I was fine. Even my mother jokingly said, whenever you get sick, it's it for you. And not to say jinxed anything, but it's just a thing that like country people say.
Yeah.
And it all would have started like in 2014.
But before we go to 2014, which high school?
High school. So I went to Clarendon College.
CC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did pretty well because at that time I was on state renal failure and I still got all my subjects.
How many subjects you did?
I did 9 subjects and I got all of them.
We're not gonna talk much when you get people, but to God be the glory. No, so you got 9 subjects at Clarendon College, and after Clarendon College, you
I went to Thompson High School, which is for sixth form because I could not afford to go back to Clarendon College
Oh, yeah, okay.
for sixth form.
Okay.
And at that time, I started to do CAPE, and that's when it all started.
Okay, but before we go to, because I really want to get how it started, but your mother, your father, and that was, and brothers and sisters, that was
All
good?
right, so my mother is a single parent, so I didn't see my father, know my father at all.
So you don't know your father to this date?
Well, I met him once when I was like in 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So because of the financial situation
Mm-hmm.
with us being a single parent,
Mm-hmm.
I moved to live with my grandparents
Mm-hmm.
and my uncles. So it was
Mm-hmm.
all that. And I was at a tender age, about 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really where I would have started.
Oh.
So my brother, uncles, and those persons.
So is your father living now?
Yes, he is.
And I know he's watching this.
I know.
So you do have a relationship now, or?
No, completely.
Okay. All right. We want to get to know you a little better. So we're going to play a game. You know this is a game show.
Okay.
You know it is. So the first game we're going to play with you is called This or That. So you're going to choose one.
Okay.
Or two. Right? So the first one, this or that. Night or morning?
Night.
Night. Why night?
Because I don't like mornings. I like to stay in bed.
Okay, Jesus. Why do I feel like there's something wrong with me? Why do you feel like I'm the only person who love morning? I love nights. I can't wake up in the morning, people. Can't. Next one. Who do you give up your phone or sex for 3 months?
My phone.
Let me ask you the question again. Sex or phone for 3 months? Which one do you choose?
Which one I choose?
Yes.
Oh, this or that.
Yeah.
I would choose sex.
I see the same question, two different ways, and you choose the same answer. So you say sex. Okay.
Like, you can keep the phone.
You can keep the phone. All right, I use this and not me. Would you mind, or would you choose winning the lottery or finding a wife? If you were to do it all over again.
Winning the lottery.
Why?
Because we are gonna be hypocritical in our thinking.
Yeah.
We're gonna say find a wife. Because before you found a wife,
Yeah.
you did not know that you needed a wife.
Oh,
So if I had my wife before, I would not choose money over her.
Okay.
But if I had the choice before.
Okay. Yeah, you get me a while ago, you know. You get me a while ago, because them say, the Bible say, he that findeth a wife, findeth a, Bible lies.
Yeah, but when I get the money, I'm gonna get many wives.
Are Jonah and I Bible able for a wife?
Samson.
Oh, yes, that's where we move on.
Or Solomon.
The next one. Animals or people?
People.
People.
Yeah, because animals can't really talk.
Mm-hmm. But they're more loyal though. That
No, they think they're loyal.
Mm-hmm.
They're loyal for a cause.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that most people are loyal for a cause?
You feed the dog, he's always come there. Don't feed him, you'll never see him.
Somebody with nine subject at all, you know. Alright, the final one, a loud neighbor or a nosy neighbor?
Loud neighbor. Because me can fix my surrounding.
Yeah.
But when they nosy, they'll do stuff that you can't predict, and I don't like deceptive people.
I don't want people fast their business.
Exactly.
Alright. Now that we understand you a little better, let's get into the story. So you started to have some complications. People, let's take a look at this.
So this right here is actually called a Brown's tumor. So if you ever know about somebody having problems, like bro, I'm one of them. I'm literally biting away my gum, so my teeth is literally exposed. I don't know how they're gonna.
Alright, so you started to have complications. Tell me about that day. What happened? The first day.
Alright, so this is a very long story, but what was happening is that I was practically in onset renal failure, but we never know, because growing up in the country, nobody know what kidney failure is.
Okay.
Neither myself, neither my family. So I was having shortness of breath, swelling, and I was having abdominal pain as well. So I would have went to the doctor to do normal testing for going to school, which is sixth form, the school medical. And when I did that, they were saying I was normal. They literally treated me with Peritol for allergic reaction because of the swelling. But it persisted to the point where I could not walk based on the fact that I was so swollen, so short of breath. So that's when I actually went back to the hospital and they did the blood test. The blood test came back with stuff like should be 5 is 1,000, like creatinine, bun, protein, albumin. They were all off the charts. So they actually looked to my mother and said if she's ready for this, because they literally was saying kidney failure, moving towards that, but it was a small clinic in Clarendon. So they would not have diagnosed me, but that's when the pain started.
Oh, you started to have pain?
Not pain as in I was already having pain, but they would have inserted what is called a UCAT, which is a urinary catheter, and that is like directly into the your private area to like measure the output of urine. That was like at 16 years old. You know, everything would have changed because I don't know what's going on.
Right.
So that's the reason why they would have sent me to KPH for better treatment, and that's where I was diagnosed with renal failure.
Renal failure.
Which is kidney disease.
Which is kidney disease. So
Yeah.
that's your first challenge.
Yeah.
What was life like after that?
So life would have just started because I would have spent at least 3 months on the ward at KPH.
So when they diagnosed you, they put you on ward?
Yeah, I was on the ward because I needed to start dialysis because I was at an advanced stage. There are 5 stages to renal failure, and I was literally at stage 5, which is end stage. And end stage cannot be reversed. Persons will think it can be, but it cannot. There are 2 forms of treatment. One is a permanent fix, which is a kidney transplant, or what I'm doing now, which is dialysis. So back then I would have started dialysis, which is peritoneal through my belly, with a tube, and that was not working. I was getting infections and all of that. I nearly did a open belly surgery just for that.
That's in that 3 months?
Yeah, at 16.
At 16, whoa. So you had to stop school?
No, I didn't stop. I postponed because I went back and
Oh, you postponed. All right, so after 3 months, did that kidney situation?
Now remember, kidney cannot be fixed. There's 2 modes of treatment, either replacing the kidney or doing dialysis. So I started dialysis, and thankfully I actually got on the list at KPH to do dialysis there. So I actually put in another surgery, which is in my subclavian, which is a catheter.
At 16?
Yeah, that was literally my first major surgery.
That was your first surgery. And after 16,
I went back to school.
You went back to school.
So
what was school like? Did it change anything about you, or you operate? You were an active child. You said play sport.
Yeah. Remember, I had this side. I had the catheter in this arm, and it was taped to my chest and sutured to my skin because it's a catheter that goes into the vein. I went back to school, but for kidney patients, you have to do dialysis at least 3 times. In Jamaica, they can't really afford that, so it's 2 times. So I was going back to KPH from Clarendon 2 times per week. Mondays and Thursdays, and then the other days I'll be going to school, which is 6th form, after going through 3 months of, I don't know what that was, because when you just started dialysis, you're vomiting after treatment. It's just a whole mess. But thankfully, I actually did pass the subjects while going to school 3 times.
While you were in hospital for that 3 months, doing your treatments, you left and went back to school, and you were successful.
Yeah.
Naturally bright nowadays. So despite whatever it is that you're going through, you still push me, you still fight. All right, so after that, did you have a next situation?
I had several situations.
Several situations.
So after the kidney failure now, my neck, I was having several catheter issues with infections and being admitted. But the next real health complication would have been with my, well, I did 2 fistulas because this is not a permanent fix. You can't have a foreign body inside of you for too long.
Oh, so it's something that they put inside?
Yeah, it's a tube that goes into the vein and it's anchored to your chest by stitches. And these are raw stitches. So they just use a needle and suture it to your skin. So I did 1 fistula, 2 fistula. And fistula is actually an abnormal joining of a vein and an artery. So it's called an anastomosis. So it makes it strong enough so you can actually pull out all your blood for a 4-hour treatment of hemodialysis. So, because I had to take out the one with my belly, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was literally while I was around 17 years old. So after that, I actually fast forward to 2019. I was literally walking home because I had plans for like celebrating my girlfriend at the time birthday. I was walking on and a man came to me like he was riding on a bike saying, "Give me your phone." Like, what? So I started to run because I was near my house, but then I fell to the ground. But I didn't fall because I tripped or anything. I just heard a popping sound and I fell, but I couldn't get up.
So where did you hear the popping sound on your body?
I didn't hear it from anywhere. I just hear a sound, but then I fell. So I was wondering what's happening, why I can't walk. Was I shot? What was happening? So they actually took me to KPH in the night because I couldn't walk. And after they found out, they actually realized that, which was a long procedure as well, I tore my tendon. So my bone was okay, but my tendon was ripped from the bone. So my foot was not able to move up and down. So I had to reconstruct my knee. So I have a cut from right here, straight up to here, which they would have sewn back the tendon back to the bone. And then I had to learn to walk again.
All right, 2 things. One, I'd want to know, when you fell to the ground, did your predator, that's what we'd call him?
No, he came up and he said he's sorry. That's the worst
Oh,
part.
so he did not take your phone?
No, he's a petty thief. And the fact that he saw the pain that I was in, lying down, crying out, that's why he actually just rode off saying he's sorry. Like, what did he just do?
So he was on a bike?
Yeah, so he just rode off.
Oh, okay.
And then a taxi man drove up, saw what happened, pulled me into the car in the back seat because I could not move. When I went to KPH, that story is where the funny thing is that I actually sent home my girlfriend at the time because it was her birthday the next day. So 12 o'clock would have been her birthday. It was like 7 o'clock in the night. I had decorated her station because we met at work for her to come to work the next day and see it. So I was going to buy stuff and going back home, so it was late. So when I called her, because I sent home to do her hair and stuff, I called her like, come now. So she's thinking that, hey, it's a surprise or something. I'm like, no, come, I'm in pain. She's like, what? When she came, she saw me in pain. She went to KPH. When they sent me on the ward at KPH, I did not get any bed. And neither could she stay on the ward. So she had, remember, we just started our relationship. And she had to sleep outside in the waiting area till the morning while I slept in KPH on the chair. Till the morning with they don't know what's happening to my knees yet. That was
And were you in pain? And you
I was in
walk?
terrible pain. I literally ripped my tendon off the bone. So when I actually did surgery, that was a terrible situation because they told me because of all my comorbidities that probably I will not be able to go to sleep. So they were gonna do a local, meaning they will use anesthetics to let me not feel anything below. But I have a very low pain threshold. So even when they started to operate after giving me the epidural in my spine, which is big injection into your spine to dead the area, I was still feeling pain. So when they cut me, I felt everything. And when I felt everything, they literally had to put on the mask with, I think it's chloroform or something, to put me to sleep. Remember, it was a 50-50 chance of putting me to sleep. But what are they gonna do when they already cut my foot?
So you're feeling that pain of the knife going through your skin.
Yep. And then when I woke up, I was bandaged.
So the thing finally put you to sleep?
Yeah, it put you to sleep very quickly, like 10, counting down from 10. Because remember, I've gone to sleep several times.
All right, so it put you to sleep and they did that. You have to learn to walk again.
Yeah, that was a terrible, terrible situation because what had happened is that because I do dialysis, they give you something called heparin to thin your blood. I'm thinking they gave me dialysis heparin on the machine after surgery, which is a big no-no. So I was just bleeding, couldn't stop bleeding. They had to be controlling the blood. And after it fixed, they had to put it back in cast, and I had to wear a foot brace. So fast forward, I started. It was a terrible situation with the walking because I was on crutches and I had the foot brace. Then because I lived in Portmore at the time, I had to be taking JUTC bus with like a foot brace.
And you're still going to work?
Yeah, I was working just the same.
Well, your story is consistent so far, and what I admire about it is that at no point in time you stopped.
No.
First situation, you still continued school, and now you continued work after having this. Wow.
And that was a bad situation.
It was a bad situation. But before we continue this, because you know, I press myself now from season 3 that I'm not going to cry. You know, I'm not going to cry. So because I gave you, I want to play a quick game with you because you're a smart kid. So we're going to play another game, and the name of the game is called Stack Attack. All right, Stack Attack is the name of the game, and the aim is to stack this thing right here without letting it fall. The person to let it fall is to lose. So we're going to add pieces of these on this.
Okay.
And then the person to let it fall lose. So, you're the guest. You go first.
Well, my hand.
It has to go into, it has to go into the.
As in into here?
Yeah.
All right, you go first.
All right, so I'll go first.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're stacking it.
My nerves no so 100, you know. But
People may think me have this.
no, you don't have it.
Alright.
It's all about balance.
It's all about balance, I'm sure. That don't fix good enough. That don't
You can fix it. You can fix it. Perfect. You have to find the center of gravity.
I have to find the center, instead I have to find the center of gravity. You know, I don't know if I, bright boy, and I don't know them something there. Alright, I think. Alright, one more round, let's go. Alright, you first this time.
So,
I guess I can't find the center of gravity.
okay, so let's start somewhere difficult.
But you're making it difficult for me, that's what you said, right? Alright, so I'm going to make it difficult for you.
That's one good choice.
That's a good choice.
Wait, should I put it over the same side?
It's... Alright. Alright, let me find a good piece to put here. No, man.
No, it's difficult.
You're
for you.
good at this. You're good. No, it's not difficult for me. I'm gonna put this right.
The weight distribution off, which I love it.
Now you understand why I don't have 9 subjects. All right, good job. All right, so I see you're very talented, and you beat me, but I'll meet you again, okay?
Definitely.
All right, so back to KPH, you said that was an ordeal, and you had to learn to walk again.
Correct. So, and after doing all of that for that long period, because it took a very long time, I was like bedridden, had to be taken care of by, again, my girlfriend at the time.
Oh, so your girlfriend stayed with you?
Through it all.
All right.
Yeah, so I went back to work, but because of the air in the and doing major surgery, I actually had to went back to the hospital because I had renal pneumonia.
So another complication.
Renal pneumonia, both my lungs collapsed because of the renal pneumonia. Based on the fact that I went back to work without properly healing with the here, so I was on like a ventilator at KPH for a long period. And I was the person talking about the pandemic. Like I've been through that, like worse than that. So I actually got over that and went back home, got healed, went back to work again.
And this was in 2019?
Yeah, going into 2020. Then when I healed and I went back to work, I was doing okay, pretty okay, working as normal, doing my treatment and all of that. But then I found that I was having terrible belly pain. I was like, what kind of belly pain is this? It was so bad that it actually caused me to not be able to work and not be able to walk because of how bad it was. So when I went to the doctor, they had me do a chest x-ray and an ultrasound. But the radiologist actually went up a bit further than my chest, so they saw my heart in the graphics. But seeing my heart was actually by mistake, but then they was realizing, why does my heart look like that? And so they sent me to do what is called an echocardiogram, which is an ultrasound of the heart itself. And they found out that there was literally fibrinous tissues that was contracting on the heart. So it was literally killing itself. I literally didn't have a heartbeat. So, fast forward, I was admitted at KPH, but KPH, they have cardiologists, but they don't have a cardiothoracic unit for surgery. So they sent me to UE on emergency. They were going to push a big needle inside my chest to release the fluid from around my heart. When the consultant cardiologist at UE looked at his own echocardiogram, he realized that the fluid was so thick, it could not be released through the needle. So they would then have to evacuate it. Evacuation means they would have to go in where?
That means another surgery.
And that was one of the worst ones, because they literally use a blade, cut the top of my chest, then use what is called like, I don't know what that was, to break the ribs. Then they would have opened my chest. They would have taken off the pericardium and released the fluid. So that's an evacuation from pericarditis. Then they would have inserted 2 drainage tubes to release what is left after they wash the heart. So I would have done a open heart surgery.
And all of this came from you're feeling belly ache?
Yep. And that's a open heart surgery and bypass. So something had to breathe for me and something had to beat as my heart. Because if you're going to cut the heart, you have to stop it. And that was a very short surgery though, because my recovery time is very fast. Persons wonder, it's like a miracle where whenever I do surgery, no matter how bad the surgery is, it won't take long. Unless I'm having some complication, which is not surgery-wise. Like after the heart surgery, that was a major surgery, real major surgery. But then the funny thing about it is that I actually went to remove my parathyroid glands.
What name, sir? What is that?
All right, so your thyroid glands literally controls your metabolism, where you get fat or small, like your growth hormone. So behind that, you have what is called a parathyroid. You have 4 parathyroid glands in the neck. And that's why I have this incision right here, because they would have cut my throat and removed 3.5.
Out of 5?
Out of 4.
So half left?
Yeah, and why they left half is so I can produce PTH, which is parathyroid hormone normally, but I still have to take external calcium, because the parathyroid glands does regulate calcium in your body, strong bones and teeth.
So you're unable to get fat or slim now? That's what you're saying?
No. Remember, I said why I differentiate is because persons mix up parathyroid with thyroid, because Jamaican mostly know thyroid. Thyroid is like the literal thing you see somebody with a swelling to their neck and stuff in Jamaica. That's literally what most persons. Parathyroid is a rare. It's very rare.
All right, so that's another surgery you did, and
yeah, 2 surgeries.
They had to stop your heart.
Yeah, from the heart surgery.
And if your heart stops, you know what that means.
Yeah, it's bypass. So our machine would be doing what it should be doing.
All right, and I'm sure that's the end of it.
No, that wasn't the end of it.
So after you did that and recovered, something else happened?
That's when I did the parathyroid. Because why I wanted to go back is because when I was slated to do the heart surgery, I should have done the parathyroid, but they were for the same day. So I had to choose the heart surgery because that was emergency. But if I had done the parathyroid, then there would be less chances of me growing a brown tumor. But I had to put off that surgery to do the heart surgery. It's not really put off, it's an emergency.
Yeah.
I was admitted. So when I came out and I left and stuff, I went to do the put off surgery with the parathyroid because at that time I started to grow the tumor.
Oh, that's the thing on your face.
That's what caused it.
What caused it?
Parathyroid.
Oh. So, do you remember the day you started to see that swelling?
My wife found it because, you know, she's doing facial stuff.
Oh,
And
so she had treated you up one night and something and bust the bump them and something.
And she was wondering, what's this hard area? I'm like, what's this hard area? So I was feeling it, but it felt hard. But it wasn't feeling like, it just feel like bone. But it was different because if you feel your mandible, it should be smooth on both sides. That one you will be feeling an impression. So
I was thinking.
So after going to the doctor,
hold on, she said it feels hard. Something is abnormal. So you went to check it out.
Yeah, and it would literally tell you what your levels are through the ranges. So mine was very high. So they would have put me on a medicine. Most persons know it as Exemplar to really control it, but it wasn't controlling it. It was getting even bigger. Getting bigger where they asked me to do an X-ray. When I did the X-ray, it showed, but the X-ray was it wasn't specific to it. So I had to do a very high price specific X-ray, which would have monitored the entire skull and show all the bones. But then my head could not fit in the thing.
Because of the swollen or?
Then that's when they realized that not only that my face would have swollen, but the diameter of my skull has expanded. Yeah.
Oh, and you didn't observe that?
No, I wouldn't see it from my own eyes. Like when I say, yeah, you get big, but you wouldn't think that your head would have expanded. So when I did that, they realized that it's completely abnormal because it would have shown your teeth lining, shown your mandible. It was literally a swelling, but not a swelling because it's a growth, meaning my bone would have started to grow where bone is not supposed to be.
Oh, so the thing on your face, and people is on the screen now, the thing on your face is not a swelling, but it's a bone growing where it is not supposed to grow.
Correct. But because it's growing under my skin, it would have protrude outwards, then it would have stretched your lip, so it would have seemed like somebody could have poked it. But if you should feel it, it's not soft, it's hard.
Because it's bone.
It's bone, it's not inflammatory.
Wow. So how fast did it grow?
Very fast.
So it's just growing. Each day you wake up, it's bigger, it's bigger, it's bigger.
It's actually, it's called an aggression. Like, so based on the levels of parathyroid, that's how it progresses. So sometimes it would slow, sometimes it would speed up. But from a visual, you would see, you don't even know if it's growing, it just looks extremely big all the time.
Wow. All right, so that happened, you had to do another surgery.
So first, we could not remove it as yet because we needed to know what it was. Because even though we could say or we could research it, but you have to get diagnosis before you can treat any issue. Because we wanted to know if it's cancerous, if it's benign, if it's still growing, what's causing the growth. So that's why I had to do the parathyroid to remove it. So they would have cut my throat, removed 3, and that was a terrible surgery. Because I would have went from hypocalcemia, which is high calcium, to hypocalcemia, low calcium. And the effects of low calcium is muscle spasm, pain, twitching. Like it's a terrible non-stop torture pain. And I did 2 surgeries at one because while they cut my throat, they actually went in and took off a piece, which is called a mandible biopsy. So they would have biopsied. So when I woke up, my mouth was filled with blood. My neck was taped up, and I was just there like, what? They butchered me.
They butchered you. Yeah, but how did you feel? Were you feeling pain?
I was in terrible pain because the calcium went so low. So now they had to give me IV calcium, which is in my arm. And if persons know calcium chloride. Calcium chloride in its raw form will burn your veins. So my veins started to crystallize where they were so tough and painful. I had IV in everywhere. I had IV in my foot because they didn't find any more spaces in my hand. And they can't go over this hand because I have a fistula. So it's only this hand. Then they started in my leg, and it was a mess. Plus my mouth, I could not eat. There was blood everywhere. It was crazy.
And this was when?
That was 2000 and what? 21? 20? Yeah.
Wow.
Probably 2020. 22. Recently.
Okay, so that's recently.
Yeah.
That was just the last year. So, wow. So, all right, just give me a summary of everything that happened from the start. All of the sickness that comes.
All right, before I give you the summary,
yeah.
I stopped at the biopsy, but 4 weeks ago is when I removed the tumor.
Oh, 4 weeks ago you removed the tumor.
Yeah, 4 weeks ago. So I recently came out of the hospital in September.
In September.
September. August. I came out of the hospital in August.
August, yeah.
And that surgery was 2 surgeries, 2 different days. And trust me, nasal intubation twice is terrible. That's when they push the breathing tube in your nose. It will mess up the back of your throat. So I was bleeding to my nose. But the first surgery is when they sent me, they sent me to the surgery because you see how they did the surgery? You have to show the pictures of before. It was like a tennis ball right here. So they removed this tennis ball without leaving any external scars. They would have to rip my mouth open, like rip my mouth open to reveal here. They would have made an incision.
Oh, they rip your mouth open?
Like using retractors. And they would have made an incision along my teeth line from this end over to here. And then they removed the tumor. And then they would have sutured it back. Then they would have put compression dressing. But when I went back to the ward, I was bleeding too much. I was bleeding so much I was swallowing blood because I could not control my gag reflexes. So I was bleeding and they had to take off the compression dressing. I could not keep my mouth closed because of them retracting it so much it strained. So I was just drooling blood. And it started to bleed back into where they took out the tumor. Now it's like I had a new tumor and it was literally worse than the first one. So I was like, why did I even do this surgery? But it's not like I could have stayed with that tumor. And it was super crazy that they said that it can be infected. So they had to evacuate that. I did the surgery on a Monday. On the Wednesday, they carried me back to theater to remove that. But they say it's very risky to put me to sleep, being that I have so many other illnesses and I've gone to sleep already in this week. So they sent me back to the ward, but then there's still a high risk of it being infected. And if it's infected, it's called an hematoma. If an hematoma is infected in your face, that's a whole different issue, you know. So the Thursday, they sent me back. They tried using laughing gas because they wanted to localize my head. How can you localize a person's face and then cut into them while they're still awake? That's crazy. They tried that, but the laughing gas was not, because remember, I'm a painter, so it was too low. So they had to intubate me again. And being intubated while you're awake, that's crazy, you know, because they had to like put KY jelly deep down into your nostrils, and then they would have put lidocaine again. So it started to burn in the back of the throat. Then they would have inserted tubes.
And you're feeling all of that?
And I'm looking at them doing it. But that could not stop my pain. So that's why they had to put on the mask for the chloroform to put me to sleep. Then they evacuated, and then they stitched it again. So that's 2 major surgeries, 2 general surgeries in 1 week. I went to the ward. I drove myself to the hospital when I did that surgery. And after a week after they did that, my car was still parking outside and I just drove back home.
You're strong.
Yeah.
You're really strong. And you're not wearing makeup now.
No.
And you look perfectly fine. You know, apart from the cuts on your hand and on your neck, your face look fine. So they remove the bone. The bone. And you're back to normal. You can do everything with your mouth as you usually do.
Yeah, because the funny thing about it, I went to do 2 surgeries. Now I went to do a different surgery because they wanted to remove the mandible and then reconstruct it, because I had to buy like plates and screws to do that. But when they did the surgery, they did an incisional, which is to take out the tumor opposed to moving the, which was a good thing. So that's the reason why even my recovery time was so fast. But the doctors are still saying if I want to remodel more, I can.
Okay, like change your face and mouth?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a health, it would be mostly cosmetic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's just to make if you want to feel
If
like
I
you
want, because I wasn't looking like this. If I show you pictures,
yeah, we're gonna put out the pictures.
yeah, completely different, totally.
All right, so that was recent. So let's sum up everything from start. The first thing, just speed through them.
So kidney failure.
Mm-hmm.
After kidney failure, I would have several surgeries to really accommodate treatment for dialysis. I would have done peritoneal dialysis, which is a tube in my belly. Then I did 2 fistulas, which is for hemodialysis. And I put in a catheter, which is still for hemodialysis, but it's interior instead of outward.
And after that?
And then after that, I messed up my knee, where I had to reconstruct my knee, which is
and learn to walk again.
Exactly, patellar tendon repair. Even the heart surgery, I had to learn to walk again because they had cut through my ribs. So if I was lying down for so long, when I got up, I was totally off balance. So I had to learn balance and all of that. Then I would have done the next surgery, which is to remove the parathyroid, and then also a piece of the mandible for testing. And fast forward, I would have removed the tumor and then evacuated the hematoma.
Wow.
And you have to go to KPH twice per week. Well, you have to go to dialysis twice per week. So you use your kidneys every day. So I would need the treatment every week. If your kidneys stop, then it's not like you can get better from that. You need kidneys.
So you have to do this every when?
Twice per week, Mondays and Saturdays.
Every,
Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Every week?
I've been doing it for 10 years.
Wow. All right.
And mind you, you see, because the kidneys are in the excretory system and it's like a major part, it sends like urine to the bladder then out to your private area. So because my kidneys stopped work, I stopped producing urine.
No, so you can't urinate now?
I haven't urinated in over 8 years.
So where does this go?
I don't produce any. I don't get the feeling that you would get.
Oh, so let's talk about, does it affect your sex drive?
No, because it's 2 different systems. Your sex drive is reproductive.
Oh, so so this doesn't cause an erectile dysfunction?
No,
and
reproductive is different from excretory.
Oh, and then you can ejaculate and everything fine and baby soon be on the way and all of that. Wow. All right, so let's talk about let's talk about finances. Will it was something? Do you have a tally of how much money you spent to date?
No, but it would be in the millions, multi-millions. Because the funny thing about it is that from I really started paying for surgeries, even when I did the knee surgery, their service at KPH was free, but I still had to purchase like the sutures. It was a special stitches that they would use to sew on back there. That was for like $100,000. That was a long time ago. But heart surgery, that's close to $1 million. Plus removing the parathyroid at UA, that's over $500,000. Recently for removing the mandible. So it's multi-million.
I can only imagine. And I remember people take a look at this.
Brooks up, big up yourself, my killer. God is good all the time. Good, my father. Nah, see them Rasta Lika Williams. Big up yourself, my sister. Big up on yourself, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're ready for doing search, you know.
Good. Orion, you have a purpose. God is not done with you. Trust me. He's not.
Can't tell you how
Orion,
grateful I am.
go and go do your surgery, man. Yeah,
Go and
do your surgery,
check
bro.
your face, my general.
And come back out and give your wife a good kiss.
Yeah.
Why? Me just tell you, so you come back out, get your wife to Panama City, 200 just fly out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out with beer things for honeymoon and date. I tell you, no good.
Whoa, word dog. Me never know. Alright, you see, that why it's good to ask questions. Because question them leading to people thinking to donate.
Yeah, the people themselves, bro, the trail put together raised about 5,000 just a while ago.
Just a while ago, Orion?
5,000 US. The trail put together raised 5,000 US a while ago.
Wow, so like, how much was it before the live? Do you have an idea?
God bless you, we don't want to know. God bless you with this. We don't want to know. God bless you. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. We don't want to go in there, but praise the Lord, my team. Don't
We
do
just
it,
want
my
my
team.
idea.
Christy team. Bring team. Come on, my team. Yes.
Well, we did good.
Yes,
Yo,
you
everybody
definitely
over
did.
here, dog. Yo.
Good luck
Yo,
with your
people, thank you
surgery.
so much.
I will. Thank you so much again. I
Yeah,
appreciate
man,
it.
Keep
TikTok
us
a platform.
posted. We
Everybody
want to
from
know
Team
what's
Bless,
going
World
on.
Dog,
Keep us
Team
posted.
Winners.
Keep us
Everybody
updated.
big up on yourself, guys. God is good all the time, bro.
Yo, me not the game, me not the zone. Nothing can get me out.
What can a girl do to get some privacy?
What could possibly get me out of here?
Yo, maybe create the best in a taste, yes, me say. Get belly for your money, yummy, make money stretch. Belly get no yummy, you know, say belly vex.
Yummy, the taste that pulls my family together. Best in value, best in taste.
So they put, and I really commend your break, I commend your World Dog, and I commend you Swiss Lee for doing this. And people like myself, because I came and I did drop something.
Yeah.
I did drop something because, you know, I've been watching you and your strength and how you try to persevere through this. It was impressive, and I went on and dropped something. For everyone who dropped something, I thank you so much for doing that, and that did help.
Yeah, because I raised over 2 million.
On that night, you raised over $2 million.
Because it was not only it wasn't only the gifts. It was GoFundMe as well, because they were doing like a drive.
Wow,
So
over $2 million. That
yeah.
was good for it. So that was able to, you know,
Cover.
cushion some things, and I'm sure you have debt.
Sure.
I'm sure you had debt.
Trust me.
All right, so thank God for that. And you're working now.
No, actually, I got fired from my job the week before surgery, my last surgery 4 weeks ago, and I was working there for 7 years.
And they fired you.
Yes, but it was a call center, so, but the funny thing about it, I was there for so long, and there was no mitigating factors considered, but that's that.
Or so you're seeking employment now.
Yeah, definitely.
What can you do?
I am very multi-talented, but I'm not into strenuous work. So
That's where computer work?
Yeah, definitely.
So like what can you do?
I remember I went to Stony Hill Heart Academy and I did system administration and computer repairs after I went to Trinity and College Sixth Form. And at that time I had dialysis as well. So I was going to dialysis and I topped my class.
So you can fix computers and those stuff and like software, those stuff?
Well, I would need more training.
You need more training.
But you know that art is mostly fundamentals. Right,
so like administrative stuff. So, all right, so persons, if you're watching this and when you're owning a business or you work somewhere, I think we can reach out to Oraine and, you know, assist him to give him a position to do some computer work, anything in the office, you know, administratively, or, you know, something that, you know, you think he can manage. Do not be afraid to do that. No, I'm sitting here, and if my voice was well, you know, I would sing God Mercy Kept Me, because that's just been playing through my mind as you speak.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with God?
Well, I have a peer relationship as a Jamaican, really, because I'm of no other religious group, so definitely I'm a Christian, not a baptized Christian though. And going to church, I don't really go to church often, and that's because I don't think that you gathering other persons really is the sole purpose of this Christianity. Christianity was man-made, of course, right? So serving the Lord and praying to the Lord and all of that, I feel that I can do that by myself in my house.
So you believe that he brought you through? You believe that he kept you?
Definitely.
So do you remember nights when you had to pray and say, God, take the case and give me the pillar?
Yeah. Even though most persons, they do that, but they don't do it because of any reason. They do it because they were indoctrinated in Christianity. So for like persons, when they say God or call out to the Lord, it's literally an automatic response to bad stuff, and not really them really believing or anything. Because a person can literally do secular songs or do any type of bad stuff, and when they're collecting their award, they're gonna say, thank you, God, for it. God did not help you with that. like you're doing the thing opposite to what the teaching is, and then you're gonna accept the awards, calling unto God. It's hypocritical.
I get the point you're trying to make.
So my thing is that I want to feel God for myself and understand the word and draw close to God. Or I feel it's right, and not because it's what you should do.
Or what we see people do.
Exactly, because persons will see you getting sick and acting like only sick person need God. Only when you're in time of badness, you should seek God. Like you should seek God as well. Like you're not a Christian, you're doing all the secular things. But then when you hear of my story, you're gonna say you need to seek God. You need to seek God as well. It's for your own good. It's not a Christian thing.
I agree with you. So you're saying that you do believe in God, and you believe that God healed you, He kept you, and He's still in the miracle working business.
Definitely.
I do believe so that He's in the miracle working business, and I believe that He saved you, He kept you, and I'm happy that you're here. You're a real overcomer, and you're standing here in faith, and you stand here to let people who are watching this, who are facing some sickness, that hey, I do it. I overcame, so you can do it too. Definitely. But what's interesting, you didn't do it alone. No, you didn't do it alone, and you have a beautiful girl beside you. And she's here, and I'm gonna invite her on the set with you now. So people, look at Oraine's strength. You say you find love, by the way, you're June plum. But you found love and you found something special in Oraine.
Yes.
Where was the first kiss? It's at work. Do you believe that he would prefer or she would prefer sex on the beach or sex in the park? Now come go home. After 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give a little choose what me see. Me not look. I'm gonna earth and choose what me see. Me not looking.
What type of kiss do you want?